8:44 on this Monday. We could see some pain at the pump in the coming weeks and months. OPEC's plan to cut production sent crude prices soaring, and that meant an almost immediate rise in the price of gasoline too, and you've certainly seen that in the past and may the next time you fill up. Joining us to talk about what to expect in the coming months is Don Redman with the AAA. Don, good morning to you. This OPEC pledge just really caught a lot of people off guard.
Yeah, I think that you looked at the growing demand for petroleum products. It looks like a growing economy. Anytime economies grow, so does demand for energy. So it looked like there was no reason to cut production. And then you're right. The market initially responded very negatively. You saw crude soar over $85 a barrel. It's come down a little bit since then, as now people are kind of analyzing what it is that Saudi Arabia in particular saw. Their fear is that maybe is the economy slowing down? We think it's growing, but is it slowing down? That's why they cut back production. At least that was their stated statement.
Sure.
The reason for cutting production was that they're worried about there being a coming glut because of slowing economy. But I always add this caveat. OPEC has always said they want crude around $80 to $100 a barrel, and that's exactly what they got.
And they want to do what they can too to make it last as other countries, start to go toward more electric vehicles and that sort of thing.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely. But I think overall that right now they're just wanting. They don't fear that really becoming a big issue for them in terms of market until at least 10 years from now.
So let's talk about the months ahead. Summer is traditionally a time of rising prices as demand goes up, and there are some issues about supply. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, this is the time of the year, the spring in particular, where we make that transition, getting rid of what we call the winter grade gasoline, which is cheaper to refine. It's more volatile than spring grade or summer grade gasoline. So the summer grade gasoline, we're making that transition now. So by May 1st, all refineries have to get rid of their old gasoline and just making pure summer grade gasoline. The retailers have until June 1st to make that transition out of their tanks. So we're in that position now where you're starting to see supplies dwindle. And this is a time where some refineries have periodic closing to make that transition. They also do some maintenance because once we get into the summer, they're at 98% capacity. I mean, they're really churning it out to keep up with that demand. So this is always the time of year we start seeing the inventory of gasoline diminish just as demand starts picking up, and that usually drives those prices upward.
You did a little lagniappe for us in your own personal research, because I know the gas price nationally was in the $3.55 range a gallon, less in Louisiana at $3.27. So the national average now, since I looked at that, has actually ticked up a few pennies. But California is just off the charts by our standards.
Yeah, we're looking at that just while we're talking at $4.88 a gallon on the West Coast, and they have a lot of refinery issues themselves. Again, they haven't been very friendly to the refining process, and as a result, you have a lower number of refineries. So when they start going down, they can't. It's not easy for them to get the gasoline, and some of their requirements, they can't just grab gasoline from the Gulf Coast. So they kind of really hamstrung themselves where they're going to have historically high prices.
And I think sometimes, we've got about 25 seconds here. How this plays out, the economy. Sometimes just a little bit of a change in supply or a little bit of change in demand can produce a bigger result, it seems to. But how the economy plays out in the months ahead will be critical.
Oh, absolutely. Again, anytime an economy slows down, so does the demand for energy. When it builds up, the increase